What's up, good people? Welcome. And first and foremost, before I even dive into it, as you can see, I'm looking here at the camera. Let me know, guys, that you are able to hear me first and foremost. And let me know that you can definitely hear the audio is okay. As you can see, man, there's dual screen here. So you guys already know what that means. It's still table discussion time, man. Tonight it will be myself and Kenyon. Hopefully, maybe Tony gets a chance to come on, and if he does, great. But if not, we'll hold it down for him. But I feel like the closer and closer we get to these situations, we got to start discussing this with more than just me, because I like to have another voice. Y'all always know I always refer to Kenyon as the the resident scout. He absolutely scouts more than I do in terms of time, and before I do, he's already on players for next draft, right? So I'm always going to have him on to help me out in that regard, as well as, I definitely love the insight from my brother Tony as well. So it's always cool when we can have these type of discussions. But really quick, if you guys can confirm that audio is fine, really quick. Confirm that, okay, we can hear you. Thank you, Miss Odessa. So let me say hello to the early commenters first. Let's do that really quick, and then me and Kenyon gonna dive right in, because man, do we have a lot to talk about. So let's see. We hear some feedback there, Kenyon. I hear some audio in the background.
Yeah, had to cut it out.
Yeah, no problem. But all right, guys, really quick, man, and then me and Kenyon gonna dive right in. Ozzy Tanks, or excuse me, Ozzy Tanks. Devin Snowden, Jason Winningham, how you doing tonight, sir? Watch and see me. Okay, I like that. Aaron Morris, Rick Steele, the real Missy. Okay, is that another female listener? Please let us know, Missy, because if so, we're gonna give you your proper hello. Ron Simpson in the building. Shout outs to Ron, man. That's one of my guys that comes through, for the gaming aspect. So shouts out to him. Hello, Miss Odessa. How you doing this evening? Still a Nation, Trey, Sippy Boy, Charlie Brown, Still a Nation 412. I already said that, but hey, I'm saying it again because it's in your name. I don't remember who I read. Why Diggy? Oh, Sade. Sade is back. Hello, Miss Sade. How you doing? And while we're at it, hello, Miss Lanisha. How you doing? So the ladies are coming in heavy tonight. Rajon 39, Jordan Mid, Shadow Slayer. Hello, Miss Debbie. Y'all always know we got to give Debbie her special hello. And hey, while we're at it, let's go ahead and throw this out there again. Ladies of Still a Nation. Debbie has already reached out. Who else? Destiny already reached out. And I think Odessa says she's down. And I think Lanisha says she's down in the chat. So far, we have 4 ladies of Still a Nation. What I plan to do, perhaps next week, but you guys let me know what's good for you. We want to have a show when it's just the ladies talking. I'm kind of sitting in the background, maybe throw them some topics, but I really want to give them the opportunity to also speak more than us just reading their comments, because I really love what they do. And again, we're going to give them that respect and give them a platform. So if you want to be down with that, again, if Missy and Sade, if y'all want to be a part of that, just let me know in the chat. If I miss it, somebody tell me. We'll make that happen, but I need you ladies, lovely ladies, to get together and decide when is the best week. I'm cool as early as next week, but y'all let me know what works for you. But outside of that, man, Kenyon, man, we got a lot to talk about, folks. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, we might as well get some of the little intermediate stuff out the way, because I know we're going to spend a lot of time just talking about the pro days and some of the players that the Steelers have talked to and the re-signings. So I guess, Kenya, man, first of all, let's tell the people how you're doing. How's everything been going for you the last couple of weeks? And then first thing let's talk about is this 17-game season. How do you feel about that? Is it a benefit? Is it detrimental? Do you think it will affect the roster? What are your initial thoughts on a 17-game season?
I mean, it is what it is. It's a money grab. We all know that. I don't see how it benefits. I don't see how it benefits the players. So, for me, it's just, we saw it. We knew it was coming. You just basically just have to. It is what it is. We have to accept what they're doing. The owners are greedy people. Most rich people are greedy. That's why they got rich. So it is what it is. I feel bad for the players, but I mean, I guess if they cut out one preseason game, I think they're even taking back a little bit of the OTAs and voluntary workouts. So I mean, it'll just be an adjustment, So the NFL will try to capitalize and make as much money as they can. I wish if they would go to 17 games, they would just put in a more guaranteed contract so players could, be okay. But it is what it is.
So in other words, you don't think Alvin Kamara was out of line, huh?
No, I think everything he said was correct. It's almost like what can you do in those scenarios? When they're changing the putting your body in bad situations, because dudes are already basically done at week 16. You kind of going on fumes at that point. So now you're forcing these guys to do that. I guess if you add more people to the roster, that would be a benefit. But it is what it is. It's almost like we saw this coming maybe 5 years ago. We knew they were going to do this. So I'm with Kamara. I'm with all the players, in this situation.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. I mean, all right, let's get the fan side out the way. I know there's gonna be people to say this. As a fan, do I want to see more football? Of course. But if we're being realistic, okay, in that case, what does one extra week do? All it is, like Kenya said to me, is a little more money, quick money grab real quick. And you do have to consider the players' health and things of that nature. I mean, we all know, Kenya said it. We all know what happens at week 17. Players, some of them are lost for the season. Some of them are one hit away, which you could always say that. But y'all know what I'm saying. They're nursing an injury. Matter of fact, why is it a reason that players or teams sit players before the playoffs? Case in point right there. So an additional week, like what does it actually do? It's not allowing more, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I didn't read enough into it, but I don't think it's allowing more teams to get into the playoffs or anything like that. I mean, maybe it allows you to get more win. I don't know. But we know what this is all about. And I just feel like, I don't know, man. I mean, you could do without it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't really have much to say on it. You could do without it. And again, if we want to be selfish fans, cool. And I know all of us want to see more of the team, but come on, man. Football is a grueling physical sport. So got to think about the players, man, and the human beings that are at stake. Let's see, man. I'm trying to skip around some stuff before we dive into the meat. Let me see. What else I got on this list? Oh, man, y'all know what? Father-in-law Leonard gonna kill me, man. I forgot to send him the link. Let me do that real quick, guys, in real time. Y'all know this is a live production. And send it to Cousin Floyd as well. Let me see, Kenyon. What else I got here, man? That's not the meat and potatoes. I guess the meat and potatoes is up. I mean, because everything I got on the list, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe there's something else that we can jump into before we get into these things. But running backs, pro day visits, recent signings, players we've scouted so far, 17-game season. We just hit that. Let's talk about the recent signings. Let's do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. I'll kick it off, guys, because like I said, I love Kenyon having the last word, man, because he gives a different perspective than mine, and I'm just humble like that, right? I'm not the type that's, Kenyon knows how we are. We Aries. But when we're both here, I'm going to be humble enough to be like, let's hear what he has to say. I know what I'm going to say. Let him get the last word. Man.
You know what I'm going to say. So it go both ways.
Exactly. Let's talk about Juju real quick, because I know I talked about it on the show by myself. But again, I want the world to hear what you have to say as well. This is how I feel about it. First and foremost. Oh, we got a lot of echo going on. What's happening?
Yeah.
What's happening?
There's a security breach. I fixed it. Yeah, that was
No
crazy.
problem. That was one of somebody's agent listening in on us.
You know what I mean? That was crazy.
But here's how I feel, man. I'm happy to have Juju back. I'm going to keep it short and sweet because I talked about it last week. I don't understand how some fans don't see his value. And that's not a knock on anybody. It's just, I just don't see how you don't see his value if you're really watching what he brings to the table each and every week. I'm also going to throw the honorable side into it. It's an honorable play and it's a money play. Let me explain. Very loyal and honorable to say, no, I'm going to go back and stay with Pittsburgh since, I'll take the 1-year deal. Kansas City and Baltimore reportedly offered him something, but it wasn't a whole lot more. So he did the honorable thing by taking less money to come back, and the money play, and I don't even want to say that with a negative connotation on it. I mean the business side. Look, we're going to have more cap next year. I already know that. If I go do what I want to do, handle my business, we'll probably get a long-term deal done. I love Pittsburgh. His mom loves Pittsburgh. And shout outs to Mama Juju. I got to say this. I'm going to represent for the ladies. If you guys have been paying attention to her, looks like, she's taking care of her wellness and fitness. Looks like she looks great. I'm going to just give her that. She's slim, like she's taking care of herself. So it's cool to see people do that because she obviously promotes that exercise and all that. So if for any reason, Mama Juju, if you hear this, look great. You're doing a great job. So just want to say that. And that's not no man to woman thing for you weirdos out there. I'm just saying mom's looking great. Obviously, she's taking care of herself. Other than that, that's what I got. I will not stand for any Juju slander. Won't let you do it. You can have an opinion about a player. We'll all have our own opinions, whether we like a player, hate a player, et cetera, et cetera. But I will not. Let me repeat that, Kenyon. I will not stand for any Juju slander. I don't think as much y'all can say about this dude anymore. So he TikToks. Okay, whatever. He was TikToking when we were 11-0. Or 12-0. What were we? 11-0.
11-0.
So what? He's 24. He's still semi a kid. If I was 24 making the money that he makes and I'm playing in a professional sport and I'm, ladies, excuse me real quick, but the fellas gonna know what I'm about to say. And I'm really like a target for most ladies out there because I'm a young guy with a lot of money. Yeah, I'd be TikToking too, having a good time, enjoying myself. But as long as I'm taking care of business on the field, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. It's a different day. A lot of you guys that are complaining about that, you're not 24, so you can't relate. That's all. So I love that he's back. We'll see what he does. He is the veteran in our locker room as far as receivers, and he's only 24 years old. Why not? So I already know how you feel, Kenyon, but let the show know, man. What are your thoughts on the re-signing of Juju and how the deal was structured?
I mean, it's it says a lot that you kind of want to stay somewhere, and I think Juju can probably looks at it like, if I have a great year, maybe I can get a long-term deal. Maybe, what I mean, with the cap money that they will have, maybe they can fit me in. I think like you said, I think he loves Pittsburgh. I mean, he's an LA kid. I mean, that's falling in love with Pittsburgh. And we know somebody else that did that too. We know two people that's done that before. So it's an admirable situation. I don't know his market, from what the reports came out of what it was offered to him. I mean, I guess you could look at it like maybe he should have took a deal somewhere else. I don't think he probably would have went to the Ravens. Kansas City was intriguing, but maybe just like where he was at in Pittsburgh, and you can't be mad at him for that. I mean, but
it'd have been hard for me to turn Patty down. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's a difficult thing.
I love Ben, but hey, bro.
Yeah, Patty that's a different thing. So
that's something different right there.
So right. I think it's just one of those things where you keep. I'm glad he's back. As far as people slandering Juju, it's like come on, man. It's just funny to me, man. It's just like my thing always is when you're people that are fans of a team, I don't know if they really look at the the big picture or understand what certain people's roles are. People could say, well, Juju didn't do this or Juju didn't do that. They drafted Chase Claypool, which means Juju was the more apt person to move into the slot and affect the game that way. He was doing it as a rookie. So, is he a number one receiver? He's probably not. He's probably like a 1-2, whatever you want to call it, 2-1. But does Pittsburgh have a number one receiver right now? No. Claypool has a chance to be one, but right now they don't have one. So it's kind of like, and Deontay Johnson, I can't trust him.
Yeah, we can't trust him. He could be it, but
but I can't trust him right now. So until he shows me he's doing this consistently, I can't trust him. So, it's kind of one of those things where, Juju's role, what Juju does, I don't know if people appreciate it. When it's 3rd and 8, Ben throws to Juju. That's really his target. You know what I mean? And he makes those catches that, that Hines Ward used to make. Those 3rd down and 8, and he gets 9. You know what I mean? It's just, you need players like that, man. You need different types of receivers. Claypool is a different type of receiver than Juju. Juju different than Deontay. Deontay different than Ray. They're different receivers. They all do different things, and that you need a mix of guys. You just don't need everybody doing the same exact thing. So I'm cool with Juju coming back. You know how I feel about it. I was like, look, that was first time I met you. That was my first call. So of course I'm gonna have a little stake in this one. You know what I mean? Because that was the first call I had. So, I'm cool with it, and hopefully he has a better season. I think he'll have a better season in this offense. As Matt Canada implements the whole offense or most of it. So, that's all I have on him. You know how I feel about Juju. People in the chat, I think y'all know how I feel about Juju. So it's not like for me, it's a cool thing. I've seen him for so long that it's just a cool thing for me. I'm glad he's with Pittsburgh with, my favorite team. So that's about it.
What's crazy, man? I forgot. I'm trying to remember who brought this up. I saw it on TV, and Kenya might have even said it before, but I totally forgot. Juju was destined to be a Steeler, right?
Yep.
He played, he's from Cali, and he went to, was it Long Beach Poly? Is that the name of it? Right?
He went to Long Beach Poly.
Played on Snoop's team.
Yep.
As a youngster, and Snoop loves the Steelers. So it's like, yeah, I totally forgot that. I totally forgot that. So, like I said, man, how could you be upset at bringing this kid back, man? I mean, come on, man. What he does on the football field to me is now I know some of y'all gonna go crazy when I say this, but listen to it in totality. He's the most complete receiver that we have right now.
Yep.
As far as I know, he's gonna catch the ball for the most part. Some people gonna say, "Oh, well, he fumbled." He fumbled a couple times. A lot of players have fumbled. He gets the tough yardage. He'll go across the middle in the slot. He can play outside if he needs to. I know some people say, well, he gets shut down. Okay, well, maybe that's the case. Or maybe we got to watch the film and see what really happened. But either way, again, let's stop comparing him to the number one receiver that we all have for a solid 5-6 year run where this dude was doing 100 catches a season. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He ain't that. Nobody ever said he had to be that, but I think that's the spoiledness I think that we have as a fan base is we remember Antonio Brown. And then he leaves and then Juju is thrown in that position. But if y'all really think about it, Juju was not thrown into AB's position. It's the media and everybody saying he's the number one receiver. But no, he technically wasn't. He don't even play that position. But whatever. I digress. Man, so next we're going to talk about Tyson Alualu.
Yes.
Man, how funny is this, right? For you guys that don't know, Tyson Alualu signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I talked about it last week, saying like, man, we're going to lose him. I even tried it, and I know it was a stretch because I had to catch myself. I even tried to convince myself, well, he's getting older, but no, he played great last year. Even if he is going to be, 34 in May, he still played great. Who else can play better than him at the nose that's on our roster right now? Carlos Davis showed minor flashes, but I'm not ready to say that let's give him the reign. Think about this. Kenyon probably pointed this out even before I did. We were concerned with Tyson Alualu taking over for Hargrave. Man, he foot the bill very well. Very well. I didn't even see a drop-off. If I'm not mistaken, and again, Kenyon got to give credit to Kenyon who pointed this out. He might have played better than Hargrave. Down for down. More consistent. I don't know. But my point is, I was upset that he left, and we get the news, a couple days ago, that in a bizarre twist, Tyson Alualu rescinds his acceptance to the Jags, and he comes back to Pittsburgh. Now, how crazy is that? Apparently, COVID played a part of that. He tested positive, I think, right before he was due to sign, and I think that 10-day period he had to wait. And the word is there was some influence from the team and Coach Dunbar and et cetera. And apparently, Alualu built his dream home in Pittsburgh, and he decided to come on back. Thought that was the best for his family. I think that's great because I think we definitely need at least somebody that can solidify the defensive line so we don't necessarily have to go draft that position early. I don't think we would have anyway, but, what you would want is to have Alualu there. Maybe, not even maybe. Carlos Davis is still going to get time, so maybe it's another year in a rotational, aspect. He'll get better and better and better, and maybe he can take on after that, take over. So I'm happy that Alualu is back. It's just crazy. I've never seen anything like this that I can recall. I'm sure it happens, but I just don't recall any player for the Steelers being said to sign with another team, and then all of a sudden they come back to Pittsburgh. That's crazy. So what's your thoughts on that, man?
Look, I mean, like you said, I think we talked about this. Alualu did play better than Hargrave because he was a better fit for their 3-4. So when they got into the 3-4, Hargrave was more of a pass rushing nose tackle, undersized pass rushing nose, more athletic, more talent, but Alualu just fit better. He let the other guys eat by him, taking on blocks with Cam and Tuitt. So Alualu was the better fit. I'm happy he came back. I mean, it was so crazy, that he had a change of heart, but that's a COVID positive. He caught COVID, rethought his process and said, you know what?
Yeah,
I don't want to go to Jacksonville. Yeah, I don't want to go to Jacksonville with this. I mean, they straight rebuilding. So I'm happy he's back. I think he has at least 2 more years left in the tank. Carlos Davis, made strides, but he's a 7th-round pick, and he's a developmental player right now. And maybe he'll take a step, and that'll be great. But right now, we need somebody that we know is going to fit that mold. And Wormley isn't that guy. He's a nice rotational player, but I don't want him at the nose a lot. And we don't know what Wormley really is because he was injured last year, some of the year. So for me, it could have been a bigger hole for the Steelers, and really it could have been a draft, something they would have to address in a draft, like seriously. But now you really don't have to do that, and that's the positive of it. You know what I mean? And this isn't a great defensive tackle class anyway. So, I'm just happy he's back. It's kind of like our defense is kind of back, even though with the losses, I feel better. I feel a little bit better. I feel more confident, than what it felt before. So I'm just happy he's back. And that's really all I got on Alu. I love Alu. He's had a great resurgence.
Yeah, man. Definitely. No, he's no. What I'm about to say is there's no comparison because we all know James Ferrier probably goes down as one of the best free agent signings, but Alualu gives me that vibe in a sense of, wow, we actually got something out of a veteran guy, like for real, not just a rotational component or just depth. Like, no. This dude actually turned out to be a significant contributor. So that's great. Let's see. Let's talk about a few more of these guys, man. And don't worry, guys. We're going to get the Kalen Ballage. Don't worry. We're going to get there. All right. A few more guys. And I'm actually going to lean on Kenyon and see if he knows about some of these dudes because I'll be honest, I haven't really watched them. One of which I only know about him because he dropped a would-be touchdown in the Super Bowl. But Steelers also re-signed Cassius Marsh. We all know about him. Depth, but I'm still not happy as far as where we sit today with outside linebackers. So we need to keep an eye on edge in the draft. I know a little bit about Miles Killebrew. From what I see, just a little bit that I watched of him, I think we may have found the dime backer perhaps. If we don't, A, draft a guy that can play that position, or B, if a guy like Antoine Brooks doesn't show a little more flash, or if for any reason Marcus Allen doesn't get more time than he got last year, because I think Marcus Allen is trending in that direction, but I think you might have a competition there. Killebrew also, from what I saw, is good in special teams. So that's always great. Joe Haig, I don't know nothing about him. Offensive lineman from Tampa Bay. Like I said, the dude dropped the touchdown. I mean, he's a tackle. I'm not blaming him, but clear touchdown in the Super Bowl. He dropped it. We re-signed Jordan Berry. Y'all know about him. Kenyon didn't want him back. I kind of agree with Kenyon. I think Jordan Berry is streaky. And it's weird that when we brought him back last year, he started kicking better after being released. Weird. That just proves right there how streaky he is. And this guy here, Rashad Coward, I know his last name just because I watch a lot of football and I've seen him on the field, but I couldn't tell you guys anything about him. Anything about him. So my gut feeling with those guys, Kenyon, like I said, man, I do know a little bit about Miles Killebrew. Flies all over the field. I think, he might have a chance to get on the field in sub package, but he's going to be a special teams guy. Cassius Marsh. If we look at what we saw last year, we might see him on the field as an edge because we saw that last year after Bud went down. I mean, really not nothing to talk about there. I definitely hope we address that position with perhaps another free agent if we can afford it or the draft. But everybody else, man, and we'll get to Kalen in a moment, but how do you feel about those guys? I already know what you're going to say about Cassius Marsh, but really I want to know, how do you feel about Killebrew, Joe Haig, and the Rashad Coward signings?
I think Killebrew is he's a core special teamer. I think that's what he was specifically signed for. I don't know if he can be a dime backer. I guess he could. If you think about if they use. I guess he could if they use him in that way in a certain situation, but he's never really been on the field a lot. So I don't foresee him playing that. As far as, I don't know much about both offensive linemen, and I really think it's just about depth. I think they're just adding depth, and it just doesn't preclude them from not drafting an offensive lineman in the draft high. It doesn't. It's depth, and they're trying to build depth on the O-line. So hopefully they help, but at this point, since I don't know anything about them, I can't really talk about them until I see them. So and then as far as that's pretty much it. There was nobody else, right? I'm not talking about Jordan Berry, so forget that. I'm not. No,
nothing to see here, folks.
Nothing to see here. I don't. I don't like him. That it is what it is. So I don't care about what happens with him. So to me, is their free agent signings so far to me are, if they're in the draft and they miss out on a certain player or they can't get a certain player, they've addressed it in free agency for a low number for low money. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean? And that's including offensive linemen. They may they may draft a punter late in the 7th round or undrafted or something like that. So, you can always get a punter. So, well, I take that back. most teams can always get a punter. We seem to have the same one. So,
Right.
But other than that, yeah, I mean, Killebrew hasn't played to show me that he can be a guy that I would want in the game. I think Antoine Brooks will get the chance to get us to step up to play in certain packages. I think they'll use Marcus Allen, who essentially was a safety, in that situation. And that's pretty much it as far as that goes. I mean, the old linemen don't. I mean, they don't move the needle. And also, you got to talk about what the Steelers said about Lil Billy, that's an important thing.
Oh gosh, man. Well, this is going to bleed a little bit into the conversation, and we're about to get there as far as this draft. Y'all know how I feel about Lil Billy, man. Lil Al, as I call him. And again, guys, it's never any disrespect intended. Never, right? We are fans of the team. And with that comes, over time, certain players, they have to go or they retire or they get cut, whatever. We still going to be fans of the team. I have no ill will against Villanueva. He's been very, I would say even solid for us. Who would have thought he would be what he has been based off of where he came? But I don't like what I see for the last 2 years out of him. I mean, clearly he's getting closer to the end of his rope, and that's fine. I think he's plus 30 now. It's a lot harder for him anyway at 6'9" or whatever he is, to get down with these guys who are bending the edge. But I say all that to say, man, just let him go, man. He's a free agent. There's no need to bring him back. What kind of money you gonna tie up into that? Unless you guys really have your eyes set on something else in the draft. Because the left tackle position, I'm assuming, again, I haven't watched them. There's a lot of dudes on our list still I haven't watched. But I'm thinking the top dogs are probably in the first round. And y'all know how I feel about the draft. The draft, you got to go off of projections. We all have to do that. Sometimes you get these miracles where you find a guy in later rounds, it turns out to be something, or undrafted guy. I mean, we got plenty of them from the Steelers. Can anybody say James Harrison? I mean,
yep.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't, hey, Antonio Brown, 6th round guy. You never know, but
Mike Hilton.
Mike Hilton was better than the teammate that we drafted, Sinquez Golson. How crazy is that? Well, Sinquez Golson probably would have been able to play like Hilton. He just couldn't stay healthy. But my point is, when Kenyon does his thing, when I give my opinion, it's just projections, and you have to do that. That's the process. Nobody can predict Tom Brady. You know what I mean? So my point is, a number one guy ready to step right in and play today is probably first round as far as left tackle, more than likely. Do you think we're going to get the dude? You think we're going to get old boy from Notre Dame? I don't know. I don't know. What do the Steelers think is the question. And that's what scares me about this process. As we look at these signings, I really don't know where we drafted now. And like I said, we're gonna end the show on the draft. We're going to spend probably a solid 30 on that. I don't know where we're going now. I really don't. Because now we got to talk about Kalen Ballage. Earlier in the day, I kind of felt like maybe we're not going number one running back anymore. And Kenyon walked me off the ledge and was like, don't give up just yet. This could be a depth signing, right? If it is, who's on the chopping block? Probably Jalen Samuels. Because if you look at the roster, last year it was James Conner, it was Anthony McFarland, it was Benny Snell, Jalen Samuels, and we also kept what's his name? Edmonds, right?
Yep.
So it's clear, it seems like James Conner won't be back. You signed Bellage in terms of numbers, not skill, but in terms of numbers, that's the replacement there. So now it would be Bellage, Snell, McFarland, and whoever else, maybe they keep Samuels. I don't know if we're going to go with 5. I don't think you keep 5 active guys. And if you draft a running back, that dude ain't going to be on the practice squad. So it's possible Steelers are showing a whole lot of interest in running backs. I mean, I got some comments right here that they're reporting, and out of the horse's mouth, Trey Sermon said the Steelers have met with him multiple times, and he felt like the conversation went very well. That's a guy that we talked about here. Here's another thing that we know. Speaking of pro days, only Eddie Faulkner was at the UNC pro day. And we all know that there's two running backs there. We want Williams. I really would like to have Javonte Williams. But apparently, I think Michael Carter, there's a report out there, him saying that he talked to the Steelers as well. I don't know. Mike Tomlin and Kevin Colbert are at Alabama to watch Najee Harris. And let's add another wrinkle. They said Mike Sullivan was there today to watch Mac Jones. I don't know. Here's another one, folks. Kellen Mond said that the Steelers spoke with him. He spoke with higher ups in the organization. I don't know where we're going, man. I really don't know, but I'm all over the place. So let's bring it back, get it back tight on schedule. Talk about that signing for me as far as Kalen Ballage, and then we'll go into the draft, whether or not we think that's going to affect us drafting a running back. But here's a couple of things I will say about Bellage. I'm gonna be honest. I've watched him play. Obviously, I even remember him from college.
Right.
But I ain't paying a whole lot of attention to him in the league because he was playing with the Dolphins, and I won't. Even when he was there, I think was an old boy there with him at first in Miami. What's my man's name, man? It was another dude there with him.
I don't recall. You talking about he was starting over? He was starting over Bellage, right?
Yeah. What's this? Everybody knows him. If I can get his name out,
he got released, right?
I think he got released.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
And I'm not. What's this dude's name, man? Somebody help me in the chat.
Because it wasn't Matt Breida. Because Matt Breida went there off the trade. Kenyon Drake was there. That's one person that was there.
Kenyon Drake. That's who it is. And shout outs to Sincere Washington. Yes, that's who I'm talking about. So I didn't pay so much attention to Ballage. But I just happened to look at his, I know Wikipedia, it ain't always correct, but I was like, let me see this dude's measurables. This dude's 6'2", 230. I didn't know that. Didn't know the boy was big like that.
Yep.
And I'm always giving a shout out and credit to Steelers Depot and all of that. But I got to say this. It looks like my man Dave Bryan got it wrong today. He posted a tweet saying that Ballage, his career long run was 17 yards. Mighty funny. But when I looked at film, first thing I saw was a 75-yard touchdown against the Vikings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. And again, you guys do such wonderful work. I'm just picking fun. It happens, right? But I will say this about this dude. From what I've seen, man, I didn't get to watch a full game. I watched a condensed version of 2 of his games from his rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he ain't bad. And shout outs to one of the callers. I can't remember who it was, but one of you guys called in, I want to say last week, and said Kalen Ballage. I can't remember which one of you guys said it, so I'm going to give you full credit. So the Steelers signed him to a 1-year deal. It kind of seems like maybe it's depth, but do you guys think, and Kenyon as well, is this letting us know that the Steelers, are they out of the race of drafting a running back in the first round? So can we not look at Najee, Etienne, and Williams anymore? Or are the Steelers now looking at maybe another position in the first round, perhaps saving Collins, inside backer there, a corner? We got to talk about that. Offensive line, would they turn around in the second round and maybe a dude like Williams or Carter is still there? You know what I mean? Like, how does this move affect the draft? What do you think is happening here?
I mean, the Kalen Ballage signing is Tomlin always stresses bring more competition, more bodies into the running back room, and that's always positive. Kalen Ballage actually reminds me of, if you want to have I have comparison because I remember Kalen Ballage. He was at Arizona State, so I saw him for 2 years. You know what I mean? I saw what he was. When he was coming out, and I don't think you remember this, Sim. We were talking about the draft a couple of years ago. You talked about Kalen Ballage. He was like, I saw this kid out of Arizona State, but I don't know how much he has. And I told you then, I said, he's a good player. You can get him like mid to late and see what you got. Miami picked him up. But I remember that conversation you and I had, which is actually kind of funny. So
we talk about too many players. I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it's too much stuff. So to me, Bellage is a nice depth piece. Doesn't change that what the Steelers draft strategy would be in the first round. Look, first of all, Najee Harris today ran routes at Alabama. Tomlin and Colbert were not there because they were at the Ohio State Pro Day. So they were at the Ohio State Pro Day today. And I'll just tell you this to ease, because Sim texted me earlier and kind of gave up on the dream of Javonte Williams.
Oh man!
So let me just
say his name again, Kenyon. Please don't say it again now.
Let me just throw this at you.
What if he goes somewhere like Baltimore?
let me just throw this at you to help you out.
Oh man.
Javonte, those running backs, Javonte may fall to the second round. Actually, him running a 4.5 was actually good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
look, Carter they say he ran a 4 point. What was it?
Yeah, he ran a 4.5. He ran a 4.50. Yeah, it's 4.50, 4.58. So they're similar in speed. We just like Javonte better. But here's the thing. If you tell me, look, sometimes by them not showing up, that's a positive that Tomlin and Colbert don't go, because maybe you're sending a message like, oh, we're not really into him, and then he falls to you and you pick him. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I look at it. I don't look at it like when they show up to certain pro days, that's who they're going to draft. I really don't look at it like that, because I have too many examples of them where they drafted somebody and didn't, you know what I mean? And they weren't even there. I mean, first of all, they don't even come out to USC. You know what I'm saying? And they picked Juju. You know what I mean? And I would bet they would pick Elijah Vera Tucker if he failed.
Is it much of a factor, do you think, in the first round? Do you think it's more likely that they were at the pro day?
I think in some cases, yes, but I think it's not all like if they go to this certain pro day, they're going to pick this dude, because they're going to go to multiple pro days and you don't know how it's going to play out. And Najee Harris, as I told Sim and Tony earlier, we were talking. I said, with the Dolphins trading, like, to me, the team I'm looking at is the Miami Dolphins, because I have a real big feeling that they're going to draft a running back with that second pick in the first round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They won't address it with the first one, but they'll get one in the second with the second pick. And to me, that says more about the worry of Najee Harris. I know my man Jordan loves Najee Harris. Look, I like Najee Harris. Don't get me wrong. I'll be cool if we had him. I'll be cool if we get ATN. But look, watching tape on all three backs, one back can do something that they can't do, and he does it consistently, which is make you miss and never goes down with the first hit. And yards after contact, to me, are everything. Because why? Because when you're in the AFC North, dudes are going to penetrate, and you have to be able to bounce off dudes. And if you look at people like Nick Chubb, who's built the same way as Javonte Williams, he bounces off of that first tackle most of the time. And that's the guy that you want. You want guys like that. Najee Harris is a poor man's Le'Veon Bell. And I say it like this. Le'Veon Bell was more skilled than Najee in this area. He was gifted the way he found holes with Pittsburgh. He was gifted. He was borderline genius at it. You know what I mean? How he knew how to hit the holes. So, I like Najee. If we get him, I'll be happy. Don't make it think like I won't be happy. I'll be ecstatic. If we get ATN, I'll be ecstatic. But to ask me if I was ranking these backs, as Simmons said, and I did this before the season. Not during, I did this way before. So you can go back and I said this a long time ago. I had Javonte Williams 1, I had Najee 2, and I had ATN 3. But they're close. They're the top three backs. And then I had Trey Sermon 4, who I talked about on the SteelTable podcast before. Didn't I say him? I talked about him. I talked about Trey Sermon. So,
I'll take him too. Late.
Yeah, I'll take him too. I'm cool with him too. I'm cool with Trey Sermon too, because Trey Sermon to me is the guy you can get in the third and the fourth, and he'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they can address other needs. So, look, I'm not as worried about it. And to even play more devil's advocate, Sam, you said would they go O-line? Would they go cornerback? Would they go? Look, don't rule out what I said earlier in the year. They may go tight end. They may get Pat Frymuth, they went to the Penn State Pro Day.
Yeah.
The tight ends coach of Pittsburgh worked out Frymuth. Frymuth knows that tight end coach from back in the day and says he wants to play in Pittsburgh. So if you can get you a high-end tight end at 24, or they can do this. I got a better idea. You trade down. You get the tight end, you get an extra pick, and you can get your running back or O-line or center or whatever you need to do. Look, man, I'm just saying, the possibilities are endless. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're going to do because of what they've done in the offseason, but I'm not ruling out anybody now. The way I'm looking at it now, anybody can fall. And with the trades that's going on, anything can happen. That's why I don't do mock drafts, because people trade. Yes. Because people trade. And you start saying, well, we're going to get this dude. You don't know that because he may not be there. So it's kind of like, you know, I know it's fun for some people, but for me, it's a waste of time, because I'm like, you can't predict the pick really. You better off predicting later round picks than you are earlier picks. So, you know, you never know. It could be Nick Bolton. It could be Zaven Collins. You know how many people look, the Steelers talked to Chad Surratt from North Carolina. They've talked to him multiple times. That was reported today. So is he an option? You know what I'm saying? It's like
how you feel about him, man? I think we had this conversation, but we can have it on air.
Okay.
How you feel about Chad Surratt? Like, when I don't know if you watched a lot of him, but I probably got about 2 full games on him.
Yeah, I got.
Do you think he's first round?
No,
me neither.
I don't think he's second round.
Yeah, I think he's a good project, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I think you could turn him into something.
I agree,
but I just didn't see. I didn't see the jump off the tape like with some of those other guys.
Yeah, he's not. And you also have to factor in that he's new to the position. He's only been playing the position for 2 years. So when you're playing a position for 2 years and you were a quarterback that switched to inside linebacker, but look, he has the athletic ability to become a good player. And you can look at it like this. What if you don't get Zaven Collins? What if you don't get Nick Bolton? And you say, we'll let Robert Spillane roll with Devin Bush and draft somebody like Chad Surratt, who's kind of in the mold of a Robert Spillane, but probably like a little bit more athletic. You know what I mean? And he's a project. And you could just work on him and grow him and let him grow. And come on. I mean, so I look at it like, would I draft him in the first 2 rounds? I may not draft him in the first 3 rounds. I mean, to be honest with you. But maybe in the 4th I would do it. Maybe late 3rd I may do it. He's an interesting project, because when you watch him play, he is all over the field. He's just new to the position. And that would be my concern. But the Steelers seem to have some interest in him, and that says a lot. So you know.
Well, there is a converted edge rusher that's on our team that's about to be the highest paid defensive player in the league.
Come on.
So you never know. Never know.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to know, man. I mean, I knew your thoughts, but everybody always want to hear what we have to say. I try to look at some of these guys, and again, I go against my own wisdom, where I always say, look, I don't just listen to the talking heads, but sometimes I'll pay attention to the players that they are mock drafted and all that, and say, well, let me see if the hype matches. And I'm not saying he's bad. It's just I see a lot of, I won't say a lot, but there's definitely a good handful of guys, inside linebacker guys, that I would put ahead of him. So I just want to see how you guys felt about that.
Yeah, he wouldn't be high on I'm not that say not high, but I would say that I would have maybe he probably be like fourth or fifth. I think the versatility makes him intriguing because he can cover, and that's something that Pittsburgh covets now, especially running in that nickel defense. And Bush is essentially he can cover, but you kind of don't want him to. You don't know how he's going to be coming off that knee injury, so they're either going to have to go do that or convert to or get another linebacker that can thump, a more athletic thumper, which would be somebody like somebody like Nick Bolton, who would be kind of like, you know what I mean, like a different type of. He's kind of different than Bush, but he's a thumper, so you would kind of want him somebody like that, or there's a Brandon Browning out of Ohio State, but you can get him late. You know what I mean? So it's and the kid out of Michigan, and I have to watch more tape on. I watched one game. I have to watch more tape on the kid who replaced Bush at inside linebacker in Michigan.
Yeah, I'm actually going to rewatch the Ohio State Clemson game tonight.
Right.
There's a lot of people I can look at in that game because I got to look at Myers, the offensive lineman, the linebacker. It's a lot of people I need to pay attention to now because I was telling Kenyon this, and I might have said it last week. Now, I mean, it's quite a big list that we have that Kenyon put together. But when you start looking at these names, a lot of these people are matching up with the pro days that we've been at. Mm-hmm. And I think now, man, we really have to watch some of those games. Like, I'm going to go back and watch South Carolina versus Georgia because there's a couple players in there that you need to keep an eye on. Like, I watched old boy. Go ahead. Not
to cut you off. Georgia has 3 prospects that I know Pittsburgh likes. So I know they like their edge rusher, Aziz, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Aziz, that kid, you know what I mean? Only thing with him is he has to get stronger because I'm thinking about like when you're in the AFC North, he's really like a speed rusher right now. You know what I mean? So he has to get like stronger. But that cornerback, what's the Eric Stokes Jr. that ran the 4.2? That kid.
Gotta watch him.
I was watching the Florida game. He got a pick 6, and I really like him. And they think about Georgia, they're similar to Pittsburgh. They kind of run the same defense. So you can kind of project those kids on the, you know what I mean, playing for Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh defense. And so yeah, I would advise you to probably watch. I mean, you could watch. I wouldn't say watch the Georgia Florida game. I was texting you what was happening. That look, just to tell y'all, Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts was. You talking about mossing dudes down the field? It wasn't even fair, man. It wasn't even fair, man. It was like they tried to man him up twice, and the quarterback just threw it up. He was like, "Yo, you're not stopping this dude." It was actually funny watching the Georgia DBs trying to cover him. It was actually funny. They put their fastest DB on him, and he killed him both times. And he tried to press him. The DB tried to press him, which was even funnier. I was like, "Yo, man, this dude right here." I'm just saying. I mean, you talking about a wish pick? Oh my God, I wish we was up that high. Oh, I take Kyle Pitts so fast. I mean, I would run up to the with the card, man. I mean, I'd be sprinting if I get Kyle Pitts. But whoever gets him is getting a straight, as Tony says, a lotto stud. And I'm saying he's a double lotto stud. Like that's how good he's gonna be to me. So.
He's gonna be a problem. Like I don't even care about his blocking.
Yeah, I don't. I really
when he
don't.
come out there, we passing it and try to cover him.
Oh my God!
That's all I need you to do. But man, I'm gonna watch those games. It's a lot of games, like because good enough. I probably should have been doing this from the beginning, but I was telling Kenyon that I was gonna put a lot of these players. All of them that's on the same team. I pull those names out and find the game that they're playing against the opposite. Boom, you're killing 2 birds in 1 stone. Then you can still do your other scouting with just watching those players. So I'm definitely watching that. I already paid attention to J.C. Horn. Man.
Right.
I was telling Kenyon earlier today, I don't seem like they throw to him much, except for the dude Nix from Auburn. I don't know why. What was you thinking? I mean, the dude got 2 picks or 3, 2 or 3 picks, a pick 6. Why you kept fooling with him? I don't understand that. But that dude looked like a monster for sure. He can press. I was telling Kenyon, man, this dude playing inside and out. Yeah. I like seeing that type of versatility because to me, that just shows you that, like, let's say Deion Sanders. I know that ain't fair, but let me watch where I'm going with it. I think you could have put Deion in any position. You could have put Deion in corner.
Yeah.
Of course, you could put him in the slot, as a nickel. You could probably put him at free safety. It just shows what type of athlete you are. So I love when cornerbacks can play any side. Left, right, inside, don't matter. Compare that to a dude like Caleb Farley. Nasty. And he ran super fast in the 40. But he primarily played on the outside. Not saying that would be a deterrent. I'm just saying it just shows you the different skill set that some of these dudes have. So J.C. Horn, got to pay attention to him. Like Kenyon said, I got to take a look at Stokes. So that's why I'm going to watch one of the Georgia games, maybe Georgia against South Carolina, because who I didn't look at because I was watching Horn is that other boy. Big
kid
boy.
We had.
I didn't pay much attention to him this go round, so I got to watch him. Yeah, it's Israel Mukamu or something like that.
Israel. We were on him like sophomore year, and we thought he was.
What number is he again? Is he 7? Or
was he 4?
Okay, let me see. We're gonna find out right now. Because there was a dude that did see in a couple of them South Carolina games, number 7 that I won't feeling. I hope that won't him.
Yeah, I don't think he was. I don't remember him being 7 though. That's why
I don't remember.
He's 24 right now. Israel was 24.
Okay, gotcha.
Israel was 24. Yeah, 6'4", 205. Israel was 24.
Got him to watch. And again, we got to watch a lot of these old linemen, man, because they're saying Clem, the assistant, Matt Canada has been at some of these pro days where these big time guards and tackles. But I honestly don't know at this point. I don't know which way we going. I think it's funny that we had this conversation every year, but I think it really fits. The Steelers, I think, will stick to their formula of best player available. One thing that I could say is probably a fact. They will draft a cornerback. They will draft an inside linebacker. They will draft a tight end. They will probably draft offensive linemen, and it's very possible that they draft an edge rusher. That's 6 players or 5, however many I name. Y'all know that's happening. What we don't know is when. And running back. Forgot about the running back.
Oh, and you forgetting wide receiver. Because they will draft a wide receiver. That's a guarantee. That's just done.
Draft a wide receiver.
Yep. That's a done deal.
I ain't really looked at no receivers. I need to watch Schwartz because I'm hearing he's getting some traction.
Right.
Somebody asked about my man Scary Terry. I already know about him, but I did take another peek at him this weekend. That boy just, bruh. If we want a speed dude and we can get him later, I think he's gonna go a little earlier than that because of his speed. But he is a serious problem. I would love to see him with Ben Roethlisberger just because Ben likes to. Well, I don't know. Can Ben get it to him?
These days. When you said that, I was about to say, can he get it there? That's the question. It's you have, and then there's so many other receivers. There's Dwayne. There's Dwayne Eskridge from a small school, from the MAC, and Tyler loves the MAC players. There's so many guys that they can get, and you don't know what type of receiver they would get. Look, I'm gonna tell you a guy who I wouldn't mind them taking. Nico Collins, Michigan. I was watching the game yesterday. I'm like, yo, he's a matchup issue.
Nico can fly too.
Nico can fly, and he's big, 6'4". So if you want to have, another big receiver to go along with Claypool and just, with Juju and Deontay and James Washington, because James Washington entering basically his last year being a Steeler. So, to me, there's so many receivers. And look, this receiver class is deep. I haven't even mentioned, look, I usually try to hit y'all with USC players. I haven't even mentioned, I never mentioned Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's a great slot, who would fit perfectly with Pittsburgh. I haven't mentioned my man that plays for Arizona State. There's so many receivers, man, I have on the list that I was thinking that Pittsburgh may look at because Pittsburgh always drafts a receiver. It's the two things they do in the draft every year: receiver, linebacker. Like those are the two guarantees you get in this draft. They're gonna draft a receiver and they're gonna draft a linebacker. So,
I like that boy. I've talked about him a lot watching Javonte Williams. I like De'Ami Brown, man.
I agree.
He's sneaky good, man. I like him.
Yeah, and you can get him late. You probably can get him like 4th round, something like that. And he ran a 4.4 at his pro day.
I don't want Rondale Moore. No disrespect. A few late nights. Ain't that he's real small, right?
Yeah, Rondale Moore is the guy that he's the guy that as a freshman. Look, I'll say this: he cooked Ohio State as a freshman. I mean, they couldn't cover him. Look, the kid bench press. He squatted 600 pounds as a freshman.
Good Lord!
I'm just saying. So he's small, but he's
small.
Not.
Don't he's like 5 what? 5'7"?
He's like 5'8", 5'8", 5'7", something like that. However you want to call it. It depends on what you want. I mean, if you
that's Ray.
but Ray Ray's not. But Ray Ray's not like
he ain't him. Yeah.
Ray Ray's not. He can't. Rondale Moore, if healthy, could be like a steal. He's kind of like a poor man's. Like a poor man's. Like a poor man's our boy from Kansas City. He's a poor man's like that version. He might be him.
Oh. Yeah, now we're talking.
so if you want to get somebody like that, he'll be a nice. I agree with you. I think the injury concern is what it is for me, because he really didn't play. He played as a freshman, but didn't play as a sophomore a lot. He missed a lot of games, and then this year he kind of opted out. So it's kind of, you know what I mean. So it's kind of like, but there's so many receivers, man. You can receivers are like running backs. You can find them. Trust me.
Yeah.
You can find them. And Pittsburgh may be looking at a speed guy, especially in that Matt Canada offense. They may be looking for. That's why they're probably looking at Schwartz from Auburn, and they're looking at guys like that. But Nico Collins would fit. But I watched Michigan, and I was impressed with Nico. Impressed with Michigan has talent. Mike Tomlin loves Michigan and Michigan State players, and he likes Big Ten players in general. So,
man. I can't believe we covered all that stuff. Real quick, guys, before we get out of here, I'm going to share something with you guys really quick. And warning, if by any chance in Steeler Nation highlights, you get all the credit. I'm just showing one small clip from your video. I don't think you'll get me, but sometimes, guys, the NFL is petty. So if for any reason they decide to claim the monetization on the video, this last part will get cut out. So I'm saying that now for anybody who don't get a chance to see it. You guys that are watching it live will see it. But I just want to show you, man. Kalen Ballage. Again, this was his rookie season. But let's just take a look at this. This is a little promising. And the dude is only 25 years old, right? So let me pull it up here. And I might let the whole thing play. Like I said, if the NFL comes back and they say that, there's a copyright, blah, 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 I'm cutting all that off. So for some of y'all, the show ends here. But all right, let me go ahead and share it really quick. Share screen. Chrome, where is it? Where I got him at? Here he is. Check this out, good folks. I'm going to press play. Just look at his speed. Now, granted, it's rookie season, but look at this. This man is like 230. So, Dave Bryan, I don't know what you was talking about, bro. That looked like way more than 17 yards. I'm just saying. Look at that, man. A little jump cut. And now he's to the house. Let's just watch his style. Now, listen, we don't know what he's going to be for us, but what I'm saying is you can see what type of back he is. And like I said, I didn't really watch too much of him once he got into the league to know what he was doing. But I'm not mad at this pickup. 25. You know what this reminds me of? And probably it's better than this, but it's the same thing with them taking a risk with Dwayne Haskins.
Yep.
You getting young dudes, man, that got talent. Whether y'all think so or not, Dwayne Haskins has talent. I think Matt Canada will help pull that out of him. We'll see. I'm not confident in thinking he will be much, but we'll see. But look at this kid run, man. At 25, he can still do this, given the right situation. Now, I'm not saying that I want us to skip out on drafting a running back, but what I am saying is we can get a dude that can run the thing like this with Anthony McFarland if he can develop, with Benny Snell with his demeanor, and with whoever we might draft, especially if it's one of the guys that we like. I'm not mad at this signing at all. This is almost over, so we're going to let this thing play out.
You forgot to say Jalen Samuels.
Oh, man. No, listen, man. Y'all know how I feel about Jalen Samuels. Number 38, man. That's my number 38.
Oh, my God.
Honestly, you know what, Jalen? I'm not going to disrespect you like that. You know why? Because, honestly, if we being fair, I don't even know why the Steelers drafted Jalen Samuels. I never thought he was going to fit what we wanted. We all we wanted a true running back. Jalen Samuels was kind of a Swiss Army knife that he wasn't a home run hitter. Most of the time, this is a bad comparison, I know, but I'm just throw it out there so you guys know what I'm trying to say. When you think of Swiss Army knife and what he could do to a defense, you think Percy Harvin, right?
Right.
You think about a dude that's super dynamic. We can, put him in the backfields, stretch him out, just give him the ball and let's see what he do. That's what you think when you think of, this dude is a Swiss Army knife on offense. But Jalen Samuels it's never seemed like we captured that. And he didn't have, he was a late round pick, so I get it. But I was kind of like, I think there was another running back you probably could have got in place of Jalen Samuels around that time. But
Eddie Faulkner fought for him, though. That's something you always have to remember.
Yeah,
Eddie Faulkner fought for him. Eddie Faulkner was in the room probably like, yo, I can coach him up. I had him. I know what he could do. And we could use him. And look, he did have one good game against the Patriots. He played very good in that game. And
he sure did.
He's balling.
Sure
but he never could replicate that. And I don't think he's a look. I'm not going. He's in the NFL. He gets respect. He's a good player. I just don't think he probably should go somewhere else, and he might be all right. I don't know if he'd ever be a feature back. And with the Ballage signing, that really may spell the writing is on the wall. The Steelers could look at it like, what if Bellage? They have someone in Bellage, and they kind of believe in Bentley Snell. Anthony McFarland, to me, in Matt Canada's system, will flourish. I think he'll do very well in that system because he's been in that system for a while at least, in college. So he's going to be already, and he's like your speed guy. And if they draft a running back, fine. Whatever kind of back they draft, fine. You need more competition. They should draft another running back. So whoever they get, if it's the top three guys, perfect. I'll be happy. If it's Trey Sermon, I'll be happy. We'll all be happy. I'll just say this. April 29th, the draft coverage this year for us is going to be hilarious because last year we didn't have a first round, so we didn't really have to do it. You know what I mean?
Be live. For sure.
but this year is going to be very interesting with the steel table. That's going to be interesting. so it's we'll all be, that'll be interesting. You know what I mean? A great idea would even to invite the ladies. That would be even better. You know what I'm saying? That'd be a great draft coverage. But
listen, with this new platform that I use to stream this show, I can have is when I have guests, it could be up to 10. So I'm down for us to just all be on here kicking it, man.
Yo,
y'all know that's how I do anyway during the draft. So we definitely invite the ladies to come on and let's talk some football, man.
Real, I'm with that.
Let me see. Did I miss anything else? I think we covered it, man. I'm just trying to double check.
Yeah, we covered everything. I guess I would say, as we get closer to the draft, I guess we'll be talking more about players, certain things. But I've watched a lot of players for you guys. I've watched a couple of players. As Sim says, I'm always looking ahead. We were laughing earlier talking about quarterbacks and thinking about 2020, thinking about 2021, 2022.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, man, I got somebody for us for 2023. If you want to wait, But it's we just I'm gonna start ramping it up even more now as we get closer to the draft. I've scouted a lot of players, but it's just we have a bigger list. And as Sim says, we all do stuff during the day. He has day job. I'm out doing whatever. I got to do whatever I'm doing, and then I get time to do it. So, fortunately for me, LA is kind of on semi-lockdown, and I don't trust these people out here. So I'll try to get back in the house. So,
La land.
These people out here crazy, man. Not wearing no masks. I'm cool with that. So I gotta get back in the house, man. After I do what I need to do. So, we'll look at more players. As Sim said, he's gonna look at players. I'm gonna start looking at Michigan players. I want to look at the O linemen. I have watched. Watched Mertz. I've watched Mertz, and I'm gonna send you what I saw. Okay, I'm gonna send it to you. I'll send you a link because it's like a condensed of him just blocking.
Landon Dickerson is a dog.
Yes,
I'm gonna just say that.
Yes.
If we not scared to take a chance on the injury, man.
But that's the problem.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Dude is a dog, bro.
He's been hurt twice.
Yeah,
both knees. Yo, look, he can be like Frank Gore. Frank Gore blew out both his knees in college.
I'm gonna throw this one to the ladies because I always give the guy real life comparison. So the ladies in the chat, that'll be like this dude that y'all think is a super fine brother, right? But his track record is he has literally slapped each and every woman that he's been with right in the mouth. And you know that. You still gonna date him? That's kind of the risk that you're taking when the dude has both knees, bro. This is a position where you spent all of your time bent over. Pause. Y'all know what I'm saying. All of your time. And you pushing off them knees. Oh, it's getting worse and worse with the pause, but y'all know what I'm saying. Do you take a chance early? Now, I know the slap thing was a little extreme, but I always do the man comparison with the guys and girls, so I try to give the ladies, throw y'all a bone too, but that's the thing. I mean, the dude he the finest thing y'all ever seen, right? And he is promising you, look, I've changed my ways. Do you do it? Do you go over with him on the first try, or is it going to take you like 40 times for him to ask you before you say, maybe I'll give you one day? That's Landon Dickerson, man. It sucks, but yeah. He said, just listen to Kevin Samuels is a wild boy. Let me just comment on that really quick. A lot of, dudes like that, not everything that they believe in, but I'm going to just give y'all some quick comparisons. And Kenyon I know Kenyon is this way too. Guys like Kevin Samuels, guys like Charlemagne the God, right. Joe Budden. I like these type of personalities because they say what it is. You don't have to agree with everything that they do, but I'm drawn to those personalities because that's who I am. I'm not an idiot. I'm not gonna just disrespect nobody, but I say what I have to say. I don't have a lot of filters in terms. I mean, I'm respectful, but what I'm saying is I'm not afraid to say what's on my mind and share that opinion. So I like Kevin Samuels. That dude, a lot of times, if you really pay attention and you ain't got sensitive feelings, he's telling the truth. He's really telling the truth. Some people just can't deal with the truth. It's always a defense mechanism, but that's another show.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, he does speak the truth. Look, you don't have to agree with everything somebody says.
Not everything.
Look, because like I don't agree with most of the stuff Charles Barkley says, but sometimes he's correct. Sometimes he's spot on, and you can't argue that. So, it's speaking your mind and look, I'm not one of those people that can be passive aggressive. It's very difficult for me to do that because those type of people, to me, you know, they can mess stuff up because it's almost like if you would have just said what you meant, we could have avoided all this other stuff. You know what I mean? It's like added drama. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, you get that a lot of times with passive-aggressive people. You know, Ben Roethlisberger is passive-aggressive. There are other athletes that are like that. I ain't going to say no name, but, you know, one guy plays in L.A., and he's passive-aggressive, you know what I mean, where, you know, they'll lose, and he'll say, well, I did my part. No, bruh. It's not about you. It's about everybody. So that's that type of stuff to me is infuriating. You know what I mean? Because that's like, you know, you guys may be all in on something and he's not. You know what I mean? It's like that's hard. So I agree with Sim. I always say Sim is like because he's younger than me. Sim to me is like the better version because he even has more calmness than I got. You know what I mean? Because you know, we both the same sign, but I don't care.
My little man did that to me, man. I really think that's what it is. You know, it's people with kids probably know what I'm talking about. He tamed a little bit of me, a little bit. He curbed some of that. Yeah.
See, that's good.
That's what happened.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good things. You know what I mean? But you know, we didn't talk about the Georgia center, but we'll talk about him next time because I'm watching Georgia now. So
it's a lot of dudes to watch, especially on Ohio State. My goodness, cornerback. Yeah. I mean, even Wade. I mean, it's so many. I gotta watch the kid. What's the dude named Molden? I think for Washington, it's a lot of players.
Yeah.
It could go either way, guys. I mean, listen. Let's say this real quick. Do we have the best track record drafting cornerbacks? No. Well, let's just suppose it ain't happening. But let's suppose Caleb Farley falls to 24. I don't think you can pass on that. J.C. Horn. I don't know if you can pass on that given the fact. Oh, Kenya, we ain't talk about that. We'll end the show with this. And it's right in the cornerback realm. We got to get your thoughts. Well, the people got to hear your thoughts on Steven Nelson. And how can we forget that? That's we're gonna end the show on that. But that's another reason, guys, why you have to pay attention to the cornerback position because supposedly Cam Sutton is reported. You always got to do quote fingers because I don't like spewing facts that ain't facts. Catch that riddle. It's the thing is supposedly the Steelers has told him that he's going to be given an opportunity to play outside. Whoa. Now I got to be like, wait, time out. If he plays outside, y'all looking at a slot? I haven't even been looking at that. J.C. Horn can play both. I'm just saying. However, there's another guy that I'm familiar with from good old Florida State that plays on the outside that I think would be a good slot. Asante Samuel Jr. Apparently, the Steelers are interested in him. It's not off the board. It is not off the realm of possibilities that the Steelers could be looking at cornerback at 24 if the guy is there. I mean, it can't be the William Jackson, Artie Burns situation. I don't think we're in that situation where we're going to take the lesser of the crop. But if that marquee dude is there, if Ryan Shazier is sitting there, you got to draft him like we did. I mean, it's a shame what happened to him, but you had to draft him where he was at. So that's what I'm saying. A dude like Farley falls down there or Horn. I don't know if you can turn your back on that, given your cornerback situation. But Kenyon, I know how you feel. The fans here may not know. Well, the family, not fans. Y'all are family. Man, what was your thoughts?
No, man. Some of these dudes are fair weathers, man. They ain't no family. Go ahead. Go.
That is true, man. When we looked up that morning, and bruh, what was your initial reaction? Like before we processed it from a business standpoint, when that came across the phone, what was your initial reaction to the fact that the Steelers? No, that wasn't even the first thing. The first thing we heard was trade. So now we like, okay, what's going on?
Right.
Then we heard from him, and then boom, he's cut.
Right.
So what were your initial thoughts that entire day when you learned about trade possibilities all the way to now they've released his contract? Terminated contract.
Yeah, the first one, I was kind of like in shock because I thought they would try to get something for him, and I thought they probably could have got something for him. I was kind of shocked, but I was kind of like, once I had time to think about it, and actually, once you and I, Tony, start talking, the picture becomes clearer. You know what I mean? You start thinking of all the possibilities instead of thinking on your own. You know what I mean? And just getting the general, getting the other opinions of other people. And I think that he wanted out. They offered him a trade. He kind of once he spoke on it on social media, I mean, they kind of obliged him like maybe an hour later he was gone. So so for me, as Sim said, if a cornerback drops, that's why we're looking at corners. Caleb Farley may drop. I mean, there are reports that he could drop.
He had that back procedure too.
Yeah, that back procedure, and he may not be ready. So if he falls, there's always somebody that drops in the draft. It happens every year. It never fails. It happens every year. So if he falls and he's there at 24, yeah, you can take the I don't know if I can pass him up. You just take him. And if Horn is there, you take Horn. I like both those corners.
In Georgia, didn't you say there was some big kids in Georgia? Yeah, I'm gonna watch that game.
Yeah, Stokes. I don't know if he's a first rounder. I don't think Stokes is a first rounder though. I think you probably get Stokes like that might be later like on. Second or third, whatever. But that speed is undeniable, and I always look at playmakers because that's what Tomlin covets. He wants guys, in the back end to be playmakers, just on defense in general. And if you look at our defense, I would say we got maybe like 4 confirmed playmakers that you would quote unquote call a playmaker. Whereas Minka, TJ, I would put Sutton in that category because he does get picks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he does. Strip sacks strip fumbles and all of that.
And all that stuff. He makes plays. And I probably you would put Devin Bush in that category. And I might give it a little bit to Robert Spillane because he did get pick 6. He did break up passes. He was our best cover linebacker. You
know who we forgetting?
Who?
It's crazy because we talked about him last week. The word is that they high on Pierre, man.
Yeah.
So
Pierre
there's your combination. You never.
Yeah.
But
that's
what I meant to say, Kenyon, and then I forgot. Sutton is on the outside. Where does that leave us? I mean, I don't know about Pierre playing the slot, so that is interesting.
Because look, if Pierre develops, then you put Pierre on the outside and you put Sutton as a slot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just, look, first of all, Sutton is cool with playing multiple positions. He did it, that's a quality about him I think people should really realize. He can play outside and inside. He's he can play both. But, Sutton, to me, if you can, I think he'd be cool with just playing slot. I mean, he's not going to be Mike Hilton, but he'll be way better in coverage. And it's the trade-off that you get for the sacks and the tackles that Mike Hilton makes. Sutton can't tackle like that, but he can make plays. He can get strip fumbles. He can get picks. He does do that. So, that's how I look at it. I do agree, Pierre. It's going to be interesting with Pierre, and hopefully they give him a shot to really take that job. As far as people saying Justin Lane, he has to show you something. I mean, he's at that point. He's in the show me stage of his time in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? And I don't want to say I was down on him. I started to get down on him when I saw that when he made that play where he just wasn't there. He just blown coverage. Look,
boy was lost out there.
I was like, yo, and then Sim had to break it down even worse on the all 22. And I was like, yo, man, but you never know. But and then you can always think about who they draft, and Rajon said in the set we didn't talk about Hufanga. Look, let me just tell y'all. He wrote that he was working out with Troy. Yeah, I told Sim this last week, and I didn't want to say nothing. I was trying to keep it to myself. But Hufanga has been working out with Troy Polamalu. I knew this 2 weeks ago. I told Sim and them, and I just kept it to myself. I was going to talk about it on this draft for this podcast. I'm glad that he just reminded me. Look, Hufanga didn't run well at the pro day, but to me, that's a good thing.
4.6, right?
Yeah, that's good for me. He's a strong safety. That's good for me. Look, if you can get him like in the, he could be one of those undrafted, or you might get him 5th, 6th round, something like that. If they don't address it earlier with another safety, the kid out of TCU, who we both got to look at, kid out of TCU. So Hufanga is a guy working out with Troy. That was his idol. It's very interesting, because Tomlin can call Troy, and Troy can call Tomlin and say, "Yo, this kid right here," and the comparisons to Troy. As I told people before, he's not as fast as Troy Polamalu. I mean, this guy ran a 4.6. Troy Polamalu in college ran a 4.4.
Troy was a freak, man.
He's a freak. Troy was a freak of nature. So
his IQ, like you can't teach that stuff.
Right.
You just can't.
You can't teach it. But it does say a lot that Troy Polamalu, Hall of Fame inductee coming up, would actually coach a guy at the position that he played at with and teach him. It says a lot about that kid that he would do that, because Troy doesn't have to do that. So it says a lot that he would do that. And look, Troy's nephew is on the team, and he didn't train him. Troy's nephew is the starting free safety for USC. He's not training him. He trained the other guy.
Thanks to Kenya for correcting that, man. For some reason I was thinking Hufanga was his nephew, but Kenya corrected me on that, so appreciate that.
Yeah, so Hufanga, as I told you guys when you watch him, he's just a playmaker, man. He just, I don't know, he's more of a zone safety, but Steelers still play zone, and he's a playmaker. I guess you have to look at it this way: do you value speed, or do you value guys with high IQs? And this kid has a high IQ. So the way I look at it is, if you can make plays, that's a good thing. And he's like my sleeper pick. I'm not going to hope on him and put all my cards on him, but I would love to have him on Pittsburgh. And the fact that Troy trains him just made it even better. So that just made me think, yo, that could be a sleeper. So that's my thoughts on him. I don't have to talk about him anymore.
You don't need a whole lot of speed in the box.
You really don't. And if you watch the tape, he makes plays in the box like all the time. So it's I'm talking about pick sixes and causing fumbles, and he can blitz off the edge, to me, hopefully he drops.
True. Edmonds, we could all say, is relatively fast. I think he was a 4.5 or 4.4 guy.
Yeah, he was 4.5. Yeah, 4.5, 4.4. Yep.
Decent speed, and he's not a playmaker. So I think Hufanga could come in and do that. So easily. Even at because 4.6, and again, for people who play sports, to put it in perspective, that ain't like he's dogging it. That ain't super slow. I mean, when you in real time, you can be, as it's gonna sound crazy, but football players and basketball players will understand what I'm saying. And soccer players. At 4.6, you could be as fast as a 4.3 guy in a certain situation. Meaning, if you at the right angle or what have you, it's not worlds apart. Where you see the difference is when Tyreek Hill is on a go, and the 4.5, 4, maybe 4.6 corner is trying to run with him. That's where you see it.
Yeah.
First step out.
Yeah.
Michael Vick. When again, I continue to say this, love Lamar, but I still think when Vic hit the line, he was ghost. Lamar fast, but it seemed like, and I'm not even gonna say it take him a while to get there, but he don't have that pew. It ain't like Vic's. He's gone. Vic had that first step that was like, dog, just don't let him get past the line of scrimmage. And Lamar, don't get it twisted. Lamar is as good. I'm just saying, Vic had that I'm faster than you speed. Same with Dion. They just their speed in a straight line was just, and that's the difference. But if you're a 4.5 guy, that's still fast. Like, for anybody who might have ran track, you ain't slow. No, just, it's just in perception wise, you're like, oh, he's not a 4.3. But for a 4.5 dude can be up out of there.
But it's simple. It's pretty much this simple. I always say this about guys when they say guys are running 4.3, this and that. I always say, but what do you run with pads on?
Yeah, exactly.
Because the perfect example I always have when people ask me now, I said, look, Eric Dickerson was a track guy at SMU. He ran a 4.4, he ran a 4.44 340 at SMU. When he got in the NFL and he was running with pads on, he ran a 4.
Oh, you cut out for a second. Kenyon cut out for a second. I'll wait to see if he comes back in, but if not, we could probably end it here. I hate the way this camera looks when I use these programs. Just quick lesson for you guys. I'm using a real camera, right? I'm using a Canon, but for whatever reason, when I use their EOS utility software to make my camera a webcam, the perspective, see how it has those black borders right there? It's weird. I don't know how to fix that. So I just, it drives me crazy, only because I do this visual thing. So any little thing like that drives me completely nuts. But anyway, guys, if Kenyon, here he is. Kenyon is back. Let's let Kenyon finish that last point, guys. Go ahead, Kenyon. Pick up where you left off with Dickerson.
What I said, where was I? Oh yeah, all I said was that Eric Dickerson, he ran a 4.4, and then when he got to the NFL, he ran a 4.4 pads on. And you never saw him get caught, ever. You never saw him get caught. He only got caught once by Darrell Green, and Darrell Green ran a 4.2. Darrell Green was just as fast as Deion Sanders. That's an argument. You can make that argument.
He was running that still in his 40s. He was running that 3 times.
Exactly. That's
crazy.
So I always tell people say Derrick Henry is fast, and I'm like, he's a fast big back. I'm like, Eric Dickerson was 6'4" running 4.4. That's crazy. You shouldn't be able to with pads on. You have to understand, with pads on. And he didn't wear like the light pads they got now. He wore the big pads with the big goggles, with the neck brace. You know how much weight he had on him?
With a jerry curl.
And he's running a 4.4. Man, that's sick, man.
That dude looked like he was galloping, man. It
looked like
my man was pretty, dog.
It was pretty. It was pretty, man. I was like, yo, it's that's a different, So the 4.6 doesn't, the thing with Troy is weird because Troy had that what you call that burst, as Sim said, like Michael Vick. He had that burst, and that burst, like Michael Vick, is like he said, when you watch Lamar Jackson, he's faster than every other quarterback. But he's not as fast as Michael Vick. Like when you watch them run, Michael Vick looks different when he's running. When Tyreek Hill catches the ball, he looks different when he's running the ball. When he's catching, he runs after the catch.
And it looked like Tyreek is like Hill is always seemed like he always at full speed.
Right.
How does he do that?
It's a different type of speed. Like those guys. That's a rarity, man. It's like people talk about because what's the kid that plays for the Raiders from Alabama? Remember he ran the 4.2. Was that Ruggs? Ruggs has that type of speed. Like when you watch him, you're like, yo, that's crazy. Like you shouldn't be able to run that fast. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy, but I agree with Sim. I've seen like maybe 4 players I thought just had speed where you said to yourself, that's a different dude. And that's Deion, Darrell Green, Bo Jackson.
And both sides, man.
Come on, man.
How you be that fast, man?
Come on, man. It's Bo, Eric Dickerson. I guess you could say, I'm trying to think of the guy that used to play for the Bears. That was a track guy. A long time ago. Willie Gault.
Yeah.
Couldn't catch worth a lick. He caught every 1 out of 5 balls, but when he caught it, he was out. You know what I mean? So, it's that type of speed is crazy. But speed is only one aspect of the game. You have to have the other parts to go along with that. And Ike Taylor could run.
Yeah.
I think Ike Taylor was a low 4.3 guy. But if Ike Taylor could catch, he'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh man.
He'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Ike was a dog too. He had the mentality, man.
He was
a dog.
He wasn't blessed with the, he couldn't catch. You couldn't catch some if you couldn't catch cold if you asked him to get, catch cold. That's how he was. So it's like,
And I ain't gonna front. I slept on Tyreek Hill. I didn't know much about him when he came to the league, and I thought he was just a speed dude. But he definitely has developed into a real receiver. There's no question. The dude would go up and get a catch. He can run routes. So, like Kenyon said, it ain't just speed. You got to have more than. Dre Archer had a lot of speed.
Yeah,
and did nothing. So
yeah,
not even on kick return. But I don't know. But I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up, man. Shout outs to, and I see the what you call it, the donations late, guys. So I apologize because again, when I use this format, when I have guests, it's not my normal where it gives me alerts. So let me give a shout out to everybody who did donate. I did see Antoine Hill donated twice. Somebody else did too. I can't recall who it was, but thank you. And I will say this: we're not going into the basketball thing tonight, man. Again, we just talking about Steelers tonight. Yo, guys always want to go somewhere else when we. Only thing I would say about the Nets is it is what it is, man. I mean, listen, I love LeBron as a player and what he represents, but LeBron, you could kind of say it kind of started with KG and them, with the big three, but I'm not going to loop them in that category.
Nope, because that was trades. You can't do that.
Yeah, right. So LeBron's thing of I'm gonna go play with my guys, and listen. It's a new era. That's all I can say. I would not prefer them to do that, but it seemed like everybody started doing that now. So if KD is building his team over at the Nets, it's crazy. But I mean, we've seen this.
Yep.
When he was with the Warriors, that was ridiculous. And I know it ain't as many players per se. As far as with the Nets, they got all LaMarcus Aldridge and what's
Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge. Yeah.
I get it.
But look, man. Look, I know what you're saying. I'm with you, Sam. But I'm just going because I know Antoine Hill wanted me to say. I was not going to say anything about it. I was going to just not talk about it. Look, this started with LeBron. He was trying to stack the deck to win championships.
Yeah,
that's basically what he was trying to do. Because he was so frustrated because they couldn't win in Cleveland, so he left. Which is, I'll use a Game of Thrones reference. No king leaves their castle to go somewhere else to play. You know what I mean? Like I'm not leaving, Winterfell. You feel what I'm saying, Sim? I'm not leaving.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got to come through me to get my crown. So if when people say people didn't want to go play with him, who's that an indictment on? Is that an indictment on you? Because you couldn't get nobody to come play with you, recruit. They didn't want to come to Cleveland because it's Cleveland. If you're good enough, they'll come there. And I like NBA players, but the one thing I don't like is what they're doing now. Because what it does is it cheapens the chip. It is what it is. It cheapens the chip. If I go play, if me, Sim, Antoine, Tony are best friends, we grew up in the same neighborhood. We all play on the same AAU basketball team. We're best friends. The way they look at it now is like, let's all play together. My mentality always was, no, I'm trying to beat all three of them. You know why? Because when we go to the barbecue or the cookout, when I walk in the room, you know who the man was. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how you're supposed to do it. But they don't do it like that now. Everybody want to be friends. It's like kumbaya. And what it does two things to basketball. It cheapens the chip and it makes competition. You can't really be competitive because that's my boy. You know what I mean? We're friends. Now you can make the argument where you say, well, Michael Jordan was friends with certain people. But he wasn't friends with them on the basketball court. He disliked them.
Yeah, man.
It's how you look at it. So what the Nets are doing does not bother me. You know what I mean? So we're in that era now. This is we call it the entitlement era. That's what we call it. It's you get what you get. You have to live with it. It's bad, and I guess it makes you respect. It makes you respect Dame Dollar. It makes you respect Giannis.
Oh, man.
It makes you respect.
It makes
you respect. It makes you respect Kawhi in LA because LeBron wanted Kawhi. I mean, look. LeBron is recruiting Steph Curry. He's recruiting Steph Curry. He started at the All-Star game. I'm like,
Steph Curry, LeBron, and AD.
Like how many dudes do you need, bro? It's like, come on, man.
My goodness.
It's kind of like, it just cheapens the stuff. That's why I tell people, this era, it's just different for me. I can't, not that I don't respect the player, because I love Kevin Durant. I love Giannis. I love Kawhi. I love Dame Dollar because, look, man, he could have went anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Dame Dollar could have just said, I'm going back to Oakland. That's where he's from.
Price. Yeah.
Name your price. He can go wherever he wants to. So, you're supposed to want to beat people, and then when it's all over with, that's the respect you get. You know what I mean? as I said before, if you supposed to be so great, man, you're supposed to be beating everybody. Nobody should be eating off your plate. And as I said before, I've only seen one player cook dinner and nobody was able to eat off his plate while he played, while he was healthy. Once he got to the gym, the other players, they all let somebody eat. I mean, if Kevin Durant wins it this year, he'll be one behind LeBron. If they win it next year, he'll be tied. If Kawhi wins it, he'll be. It's like, what I mean. So that's the era we're in. So that's all I got to say about that. So it's kind of like,
Kobe Bean Bryant,
exactly, who didn't leave.
Now, and was ready to leave.
And was ready to go. Was ready to go. Was looking for houses in Chicago. Like, that's how serious he was. So, Kobe Bean Bryant Kobe Bean Bryant is the last of the dying breed. I know you hear players today say we have the Mamba mentality. I'm like, no, you don't. Because Kobe Bryant would have never left and, and teamed up with other players. He would have been like, nah, I'm trying to beat that dude. Kobe was old school.
Yeah,
that's the thing about it. He's old school. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it is what it is. We have now entered the era of everybody gets a chip. It's like Oprah Winfrey is just saying it to everybody. You get a championship. You get it. That's where we at. So it's sad.
And what sucks is two of my favorite players of all time don't have chips. They ain't really, Barkley kind of did it late, but still not his whole career. He didn't go with the mega team like nowadays. And my man AI.
Yeah.
AI, come on, man. He had no chance to get a championship. But imagine if he was playing with imagine him having Durant and James Harden. That's not.
Come on, man. It's not. It's James Harden has a stigma because he never won. He's never performed well in the playoffs when it mattered most. I always tell people you don't measure players by the stats they acquired during the year, during the regular season. You measure players what they do on the biggest stage. That's how I look at players, because at that moment, that's when you find out who got guts and who don't. And it's I always see flaws in players when they, if you choke. Like, to me, if you choke or you disappear in a final, you cannot be in the consideration for being the greatest player of all time. If you ever do that in the finals, you're not in the conversation. Like when people say, I don't care, you can't choke, you can't disappear in the finals. And I know somebody that did that against Dallas. Disappeared.
Yeah, that's true.
Averaged 2 points in the fourth quarter, the last 4 games. Averaged 2 points. You can't be the greatest player of all time. Kobe Bryant, I always tell people Kobe Bryant has a great argument, but the problem with Kobe is that the player that he idolized was better than him. He's 2.0, but 1.0 was just different. You know what I mean? A different animal. You know what I'm saying? And, I always say if Kobe Bryant, if there was never a Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant might be the greatest player of all time. Problem is, he copied Mike. He copied Mike, so he can't be the greatest player of all time because Mike was better than him. So it is what it is. But that was that was the clone. We needed Kobe. Always have Kareem up there because Kareem was so great forever. You know what I mean? He was great all the time. You know what I mean? But yeah, Kobe Bean Bryant. I mean, that Sims dude. AI to me had the heart of a champion. If he ever had a squad, who knows? Charles Barkley. I guess I would put him maybe the third greatest power forward of all time, maybe second, depending on how you want to look at it. But he never forced his way out of Philly. They traded him to actually help him. And he went to Phoenix, and that Phoenix team was just good. He just went there and he just elevated them. You know what I mean? He didn't have any Hall of Fame players on that team with him. It was just him and Kevin Johnson. You know what I mean? But they were great. And I mean, late he tried to go with Akeem Olajuwon and them, but they were past their prime. And you can say that about the Nets. Blake Griffin is past his prime. LaMarcus Aldridge is past his prime. So people shouldn't be complaining about that. They're 32 and 35. They're not the same player. You know what I mean? So they're kind of riding on, kind of like what Karl Malone and Karl Malone and Gary Payton did that with the Lakers, but they lost.
Oh yeah,
same thing. So,
but see, Antoine Hill, don't bring up no basketball.
Yeah, don't bring up basketball.
I don't want to. I hate to derail like that. We sat here for probably another 15 minutes. Show's supposed to be over.
Supposed to be done, man.
But anyway, we're gonna get out of here, guys. Had a good show, man. This was a good one. I'm sure we're gonna have plenty more of these. At least, let me see where we at. It'll be April 1st. We'll probably have another one before the draft. I'm sure. SteelTable, and then y'all know draft night. Boom. And then the ladies, if y'all are still listening, Debbie, Destiny, Lanisha, I want to say Odessa signed on. So anyone else, Sade, or if Missy, if you are a female as well, which I'm assuming, but let's do this ladies' night, man. Whenever y'all are ready. But I would love for it to be as soon as you guys are ready. So if it's next week, the week after, you tell me. You can send me an email because I probably missed it in the chat, but send me an email, SimFBallCritic@gmail.com. If you're on Twitter, send me a DM on Twitter @SimFBallCritic and let me know what works for you all. If y'all want to exchange some information, boom. But let me know when y'all want to make it happen. It would be your night. I think the fellas and other ladies as well who see the show will enjoy that. So there you have it. But other than that, man, I hope everybody is stay safe, stay healthy, have a good week. God bless. And we catch you guys later. Unless something crazy happens. If something crazy happens between now and
we got
next week.
Remember, you got the Aries show.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Oh, so there you go. That's going to be the week right there. So we'll be back because, me and Kenyon's birthday, what is it, 2 days apart, right? Yours is 13th. Yeah.
Mine's 13th, yeah. And that's on a Tuesday. Boom. That's actually Terrible Town Tuesday. Which is actually funny.
There you go. So that's when we'll do the next SteelTable. But all right, man. Y'all be good. We out of here. Stay safe. Peace.